What's going on, guys? Dare here with Fantasy Football Advice, coming at you with another fantasy football video. Today, we're doing something a little bit different here. Typically, when we try to predict player production, it largely comes down to opportunity and ability. One thing that's a bit harder to predict is motivation. In today's video, we are going to go over a handful of running backs that should be highly motivated to perform in the 2020 season. We're going to take a look at their overall situation, discuss how that may impact the rest of their careers, and see if maybe we want to bet on players that might be betting on themselves. Before we do get into the video though, stat of the day. Yesterday's stat of the day was which running back posted the highest single week fantasy performance of the 2019 season. The correct answer was Aaron Jones, a massive week 5 performance posting over 45 fantasy points. Congratulations to Bailey Kim, you got this one right. As for today's stat of the day, which quarterback threw the most interceptions inside the 10-yard line? Leave your answer in the comments section down below. We'll be happy to let you know who wins in tomorrow's video. Also, guys, be sure to check out our website. Our draft package is live. Not only is it loaded with information guaranteed to help you win your league, you'll have access for the entire season, be eligible for exclusive giveaways, and gain instant access to our private community. If that interests you, check out our website, thefantasyfootballadvice.com. Link, as always, in the description box below. Without further ado though, let's get right into the video. The first player we have is Leonard Fournette of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's no secret that this relationship between Fournette and Jacksonville has definitely become sour. It's been reported that the team had been trying to trade him, and with his contract set to expire at the end of the 2020 season, Fournette's future with the team and his career in the NFL is definitely up in the air. Overall, we know he is an inefficient running back, one that struggles with injuries, a bit underrated in the passing game, but largely he's been overshadowed by his heavy draft capital. He's often looked at as a disappointment after being drafted 4th overall in the 2017 NFL draft. It's not that he hasn't been a staple in the Jaguars offense while healthy, it's more or less that other running backs with similar draft capital have far exceeded the output of Leonard Fournette throughout his career. Think Christian McCaffrey, who was taken 8th overall, 4 spots lower than Fournette in the same draft class. Nearly 40 picks later, Dalvin Cook came off the board in the 2nd round. Alvin Kamara was also out of the 2017 draft class, drafted in the 3rd round, and there were even other solid options in the later rounds like James Conner and Kareem Hunt, who were both drafted in 2017. Leonard Fournette will be hard-pressed to avoid comparisons to players like Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley, other running backs who were drafted with the expectation that they were going to be game-changing for their offenses. While Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley did not quite disappoint, Leonard Fournette has not exactly been as advertised. As it stands today, the Jaguars did decline to pick up the 5th-year option of Fournette, which will make him a free agent in the 2021 season. As a direct result, Leonard Fournette's contract and potential future in the league is largely going to come down to what he's able to produce for this season. What he does have working in his favor is that he is coming off of his best statistical season as a pro. He appeared in the most games he ever had throughout his career in the 2019 season, posted career highs in yards per carry, while notching a respectable 76 receptions in the passing game. If he is able to remain healthy and produce a similar type of output, Leonard Fournette is likely going to get a contract somewhere to be a starter. There aren't a ton of teams out there looking for a lead running back. The supply definitely outweighs the demand, but there are teams that are lacking in identity in the run game that would definitely be happy with Fournette if he was able to produce like he did in 2019. Like I said, if he's able to produce like he did, Fournette is well aware that his entire contract is reliant on his production this season. Despite posting career highs in many major categories, many people are hard-pressed to buy in on Fournette, so if he does post another dud or battles injuries this season, teams will be quick to forget exactly what he did in 2019. Fournette may find himself taking a contract outside the top 10 at the position, or even worse, this could be the beginning of the end of his career. While I'm not really high on Fournette, we cannot deny the fact that he has a lot riding on this season. Nobody is really betting on Fournette except for himself. not even his own team, this could ultimately put a chip on his shoulder or make it that much easier for him to give up. As for me, I tend to lean in the side that I am just not expecting him to remain healthy. Yes, we saw one healthy season out of Fournette, but while most people see a running back that was able to handle a workload for an entire season, I see an injury-prone player coming into the season with the most tread on his tires he has had throughout his NFL career. The next player we have is Todd Gurley of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, undeniably, he is going to be a difficult player to predict. The information we have regarding his arthritis in his knees is rather limited, but what we do know is he did sign a one-year deal with Atlanta, and that deal resulted in him ranking 31st in running back average salary. This could be potentially taken in two different ways. A, it's a player who knows what his value is, taking reduced pay with the expectation of a reduced workload and reduced involvement. Or B, this could be seen as a player who is more than willing to bank on himself. He was vocal about wanting to join the Atlanta Falcons prior to joining the team, so it wouldn't quite surprise me if he was willing to take less money to be on the team that could showcase his abilities the best. As we do know, Todd Gurley is a superior pass-catching running back. Receiving out of the backfield is a required skill for any Atlanta Falcons running back. Todd Gurley will be a good fit for this offense. The main question is, how much volume can we expect from him? And if he is playing behind a very potent offense, does that mean we can expect his efficiency to increase over what we have seen in recent years? Or is this contract transparent to what we should expect for production on the field? To me, I definitely see a player who is banking on himself. He was very vocal about wanting to join the Falcons. He could have definitely got more money if he were to go to other organizations. Jordan Howard is being paid at a higher annual salary than that of Todd Gurley, but it's very likely that if he did join the Miami Dolphins offense and they struggled, Todd Gurley would not be able to separate himself and shine in the 2020 season. While this is definitely speculation, Todd Gurley could have easily acquired more money in his contract in exchange for playing in a less featured role or on an offense that may not showcase his abilities as well as they would in Atlanta. But if you read between the lines, his willingness to take such a minimal contract, ranking outside the top 30 in annual salary at the RB position, to play on a team that suits his abilities well, it appears he's setting himself up for a potential bounce back season. Now, is that in his range of outcomes? Definitely. It is still very unclear whether he can handle a workload due to the arthritis in the knees, but until he proves us otherwise, he's going to be the main guy in Atlanta. If he fails to produce on such a minimal contract, the chances of him potentially redeeming himself and being one of the top paid RBs in the league are virtually long gone. So all signs do point to Gurley betting on himself for the 2020 season, and those are the types of players that I want to get on my team. The next player we have is Kenyan Drake of the Arizona Cardinals. Kenyan Drake finds himself as the lead back for Arizona, and along with that, he inked a one-year deal worth $8.48 million. That is not a hefty price tag for a running back who is both efficient and can catch the ball effectively. While on paper it does seem like a very good value, there is no way a team could pay Kenyan Drake anywhere near top 10 numbers because he has never led an offense with a full workload. Nobody is denying that he has the skill set to be a 3-down back, but Drake is 26 years old. This is his 5th year in the league, and his career high in carries tops out at 170. This deal definitely works for both Drake as well as Arizona. Arizona is not risking a ton of financial capital in order to take the shot on Kenyan Drake. Meanwhile, Kenyan Drake is not locked into a long deal, so if he ultimately proves himself capable of being a 3-down workhorse, he's going to get paid. One thing we have to understand is that the lifespan of running backs in the NFL, it's rather short. Nobody could blame Kenyan Drake for seeking a long-term deal, even if that meant a reduced salary, but the Cardinals felt more than comfortable in using the transition tag, which does give them the option to match any offers from other teams prior to letting him escape in free agency, which ultimately results in a win-win for the Cardinals Cardinals organization. As for Drake, he has no long-term guarantees with this team, nor is he guaranteed anything when it comes to free agency, so his potential and value for a long-term deal is largely going to rely on his production this season. At 26 years old, this could be his last major deal of his career, which means this season an opportunity is not only his biggest from a workload perspective, but it is also his most impactful when it comes to his financial security for the remainder of his NFL career. Considering he has so much relying on this one season, it's safe to expect he's going to put in 110%, and for a player who has largely been efficient in both rushing as well as receiving, that's the type of player I'm fine with putting my faith in. The next player we have is Kareem Hunt of the Cleveland Browns, and if you've been following the channel for this offseason, you'll know we are very high on Kareem Hunt this season. Very rarely would we ever promote a running back on an offense that is unlikely to lead his team in carries, but due to his superior pass catching skill set and heavy involvement in the offense, we know that regardless of how many touches he gets on the ground, he will still have plenty of opportunities to produce for fantasy. One factor that is not getting as much attention is exactly how much he has riding on this season. He is currently on a one-year deal with Cleveland. It's difficult to remember exactly how good Kareem Hunt was when he was given the full reins to an offense, but during his first 2 seasons as a pro, Kareem Hunt was easily a top 5 running back, and if he finds himself in the right environment, there is no doubt in my mind that he could potentially be an RB1 once again. Due to his off-field concerns though, he is going to have to prove himself, and unlike most other rushers, this is going to come from proving himself both on and off the field. This is going to be his first full season since being suspended from the league, so staying out of trouble as well as quietly producing are going to be the 2 main focuses of Kareem Hunt in the 2020 season. It is worth noting that Kareem Hunt is willing to sign a long-term contract with the Cleveland Browns, which could ultimately be seen as a player who is comfortable in his situation, but to me, I see that more as Kareem Hunt found a role that suits him very well in this offense, as opposed to him having no interest in being a starter. I think his success in this role is largely playing a factor in the reason why he's so willing to move forward, continuing to be in this role, which not only projects him to have a successful season for 2020, but it also shows signs of being a team player, as well as a severe lack of selfishness. All signs for Kareem Hunt are pointing up, but you can definitely expect that the production he has this season is going to play a major role in his career moving forward. The last player we have, I'll go through quick because he's more of an honorable mention since he's been forgotten by most fantasy owners, but it's Jerrick McKinnon of the San Francisco 49ers. It seems like almost a decade ago since the San Francisco 49ers invested into Jerrick McKinnon, paying him for top running back production, only for him to continue to battle injuries and never truly see the field. In 2018, he signed a 4-year deal worth $30 million, which at the time was top 5 running back numbers. Jerrick McKinnon, similarly to Kenyan Drake, had never received a full workload. His career high in rush attempts was 159, and although he was a very capable pass-catching running back, it definitely left us scratching our heads even at the point of signing. Believe it or not, Jerrick McKinnon has never seen a regular season game since signing that contract. The money is now dried up, his contract's over, and the San Francisco 49ers are giving him one last chance. San Francisco is noted as being cautiously optimistic, but their overall investment in McKinnon for this season has no chance at leaving them disappointed even if he doesn't perform. So the 49ers have virtually nothing to lose. Meanwhile, Jerrick McKinnon, not only his career with the 49ers is riding on this season, but his entire NFL career may very well come down to how he looks on the field in 2020. He's 28 years old. If he does hit free agency, he will be competing with players like potentially Kenyan Drake, Leonard Fournette, and with most teams opting to draft younger running backs at a much lower cost than that of free agent older running backs, Jerrick McKinnon will not only need to avoid disappointing the San Francisco 49ers, but he's probably going to have to outperform the other running backs in this backfield, We do know that this is a very strong rushing offense, so if he ever had it in him, now is going to be the time. But considering the last time he stepped on the field was 2017, this very well may be the last time we hear of Jerrick McKinnon. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. We really hoped you enjoyed. If you did, how about hitting that like button? If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We thank you all for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.